Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Midday Live. It's coming to you live from our news hub here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. My name is Efua Teku. Top of the bulletin this afternoon. MP for Bogatanga Isaac Adongo storms out of Parliament's meeting to probe collapse of some banks in the country. Nurses across the country hit the streets over government's inability to employ them. On the international front, 2 Russian nationals named as suspects in attempted murder of former Russian spy. And remember, we are live on DSTV channel 279. We are also live on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at TV3 Ghana. Now to our very first story, hundreds of unemployed nurses and midwives have hit the streets in Kumasi to protest what they term as unfair treatment. After graduating from school, the nurses have not been placed. Let's now go over to Kumasi where they are protesting.
What are your main concerns?
Oh, our main concern is very simple. We are nurses who completed since 2016. And then if you look at the categories of nurses that we have now, we have the diploma nurses, that is the bonded group, we have the nurses assistant clinicals, and then also the nurses assistant preventive. But for the bonded nurses group, they are done with their mandatory national service, and then they are due for employment. And then looking at the NACANA people too, they are down with they don't do national service, but immediately they finish their 2-year training, they need to go to the field. But as at now, we are still home since 2016. Government made a budget in 2017, and then he captured nurses and midwives, saying that he will post 32,000 health professionals, of which 27,000 are nurses and midwives. But as at now, we are in September, we have not still yet hear anything from the ministry. And then what we always hear is reassurance. Honorable Minister, that is Kokwaj Mameno, in June came to promise the nurses that middle of July we will get our clearance. As at now, we don't have the clearance. And then during the June, he also came to say maybe September or October. Let's hope so. And then just recently, last 3 days, he came saying that tomorrow nurses and midwives will get their clearance, of which it still tends to be a lie. So we just want our clearance. We just want to go to work because if you look at the patient-nurse ratio, is 1:22 per patient. And then if you look at our health sector, it seems that most of the patients are not getting enough of the care they need from the health professional because of the inadequate nurses on the ward. So why are we doing at home? Why are bonded nurses still waiting at home? Why are NACANA people still at home? That is what we are asking the government to post us now.
After this protest, what next?
In our petition, we gave 2 weeks ultimatum. That is, we are expecting that after 2 weeks, our petition will get to the president. So if after 2 weeks we don't hear anything from the president, then we assume that our petition didn't go there. Then we have to mobilize our people then to Jubilee House and then picket again so that we can tell the president ourselves.
Okay, thank you very much. That was David Else, one of the recent leaders of the unemployed nurses and midwives who are protesting at Kumasi this morning. Well, they started the protest at Jubilee Park and they have passed through some principal street of Kumasi and they will be presenting their petition.
So the nurses and midwives protests taking place across the country and also in the Upper East region, where our correspondent Tanko Rabiu joins us for some more details. Good afternoon to you, Tanko.
Good afternoon.
What can you tell us about the protest? Is it happening in there?
Yeah, the nurses and midwives demonstration has just ended. They just presented their petition to the Deputy Upper East Regional Minister, who is now acting as the Upper East Regional Minister. Like we are aware, their concerns are the one government to clear them in order to be employed, and then also want those nurses who are doing the national service to be paid, because up to 9 months now they have not been paid. But I have, this month, because I have with me the national PR of the Coalition of Concerned Nurses and Midwives, who are also part of this demonstration. I have with me Emmanuel Gayabo, the national PRO. In all, what can you tell us?
Yeah, what I want to say, or what we are communicating to government, is that nurses and midwives who have been trained and are left in the house rotting. Their skills are being rotten. We are asking the government to get them cleared as soon as possible so that they will come on board and augment the staff force on the ward. As we speak now, the various hospitals are choked with patients, yet inadequate staff, inadequate nurses and midwives to get these issues resolved. Meanwhile, we have trained staff, we have trained nurses and midwives left in the house who are doing nothing, paid with taxpayers' money. Some are bonded, some of which have completed since 2016 and are in the house. And even as we speak now, what even worrying us the most is that these ministers come out every now and then to give notion of reassurance that we are going to declare this time or that time. This coalition of concerned and midwives have come out together with Jinta to let government know that we are supporting them. If this is not them, by 3 weeks ultimatum, we'll be forced to walk on the principal street of Accra towards the Jubilee House. If that fails, then we'll have to resort to strike action. And the staff will have to get involved and get the issue resolved, because we are suffering as staff on the wall, and we are also suffering as nurses who have been trained and left in the house without jobs. It is so appalling that nurses and midwives who are doing their service now have not been paid even a petua. How can you do that? You have allowed nurses and midwives to work as rotation, to work and serve Mother Ghana, yet you're not paying them for about 6 months now. How do you expect them to rent? How do you expect them to transport themselves to the workplace? If we cannot pay, and we expect the government to get this issue effectively ameliorated to the admiration of Ghana as a whole. Thank you.
Yeah, I also have with me the PRO for the Mexican.
Hello. Yes. I would just like to say good afternoon to your cherished listeners. Viewers, your cherished viewers. If you look at our today's demonstration, we are demonstrating just for one. We are demonstrating just for one main reason, which is government release financial clearance for our permanent engagement, our staff. And so we have given the government of the day 3 weeks ultimatum to ensure that the financial clearance is given.
Thank you, Tanko. Thank you so much for joining us with that detail. So that was Tanko Rabiu from the Upper East region. And clearly, they are interested in financial clearance and not NAPCO. Meanwhile, coordinator of the Nation Builders Corps, NAPCO, Dr. Ibrahim Anyas, has replied trainee nurses demonstrating over the program, stating that NAPCO is voluntary. In an encounter with 3FM's Winston Amua on the Sunrise Morning Show, Dr. Anyas said NAPCO would deal with the over 12,000 nurses who have applied to join the Heal Ghana module.
Trainee nurses and midwives are protesting against a decision to roll them onto the Nation Builders Corps, a government novelty aimed at reducing the unemployment rate. The nurses who hit the streets in 6 regions across the country have also rejected the 700 Ghana cedis offered as salary under the Heal Ghana model. But on 3FM's morning show Sunrise, the coordinator of NAPCO, Dr. Ibrahim Anyas, said government is prepared to deal with the 12,000 people who have applied to join the program.
Start of the NAPCO process, we stated categorically this was a voluntary process. So the numbers that came to us were people who voluntarily elected to apply for opportunities with NAPCO to be able to find a place to work for the next 3 years. And so I don't recognize any sort of concerns coming from a collective group of nurses in that sense. We have 12,000 people that applied and that are being verified through the NMC Nursing and Midwifery Council. But we have had other interest expressed by people who earlier applied for other modules but elected Heal Ghana as a second preference.
He also refuted claims that the recruits are sympathizers of the ruling New Patriotic Party government.
We felt challenged to make sure that we didn't discriminate on any ground. So we set up an online portal rather than a paper-based application which could be influenced negatively. So the online application, we kept the portal open for a month. It gave us 175,000 people signed up. We don't know this. The systems will not know anyone other than the fact that you've made an input that you're a graduate, you have a diploma, a higher national diploma or a degree. That's all the system knew.
Recruits under the NAPCO program are expected to start work on October 1.
So let's move away from the nurses now on to the school selection program. And the Education Ministry has recommended self-placement in schools with vacancies for more than 60,000 candidates who qualified to senior high schools but could not be placed under the computerized school selection placement system. Now, 67,382 qualified candidates could not be matched with any of their school choices.
A statement signed and issued by the Public Relations Director of the Ghana Education Service, Cassandra Chum Ampofo, requested affected candidates to dial *713*24# to buy a placement PIN code for 5 cedis and then log onto the site www.csSPS.gov.gh. They should enter the 10-digit index number and add 18 as year of completion. 423,134 out of 490,514 qualified candidates have already been placed. Students placed on the green track will resume on September 11, 2018, while those in the gold track will resume on November 8, 2018. Students with genuine concerns can visit any of the regional solution centers at the regional education offices or the Independence Square in Accra to have their issues resolved.
So the Ghana Education Service has asked basic education certificate examination candidates who did not get automatic placement into senior high schools by the computerized system to try again. Now, the service says it has made available a pool of schools from which the students can choose from on its online platform manually. Today on What Do You Think?, we get the reaction of Ghanaians to this new development.
The Ghana Education Service has released the 2018 Senior High School Placement Schedule. A few concerns have been observed, among which is over 67,000 students who have not been matched by the system. What do Ghanaians think about these concerns? We find out today on What Do You Think?
Always my question is, after SS, where do they go? Even the tertiary institution cannot even contain them. Even the old system even cannot contain them. And then we are now doing what do you call it, mass production. So what did they go from here? I blame the system in a way because, like I said, now we don't even have the technical schools. Classroom, academic. So we come out and nothing is happening. That is why in this country there's no production going on because everything is classroom. That is the problem.
The previous one is good than this one. It's better because looking at the case, you see that one, the computer system will place you and you know where you are going. So this one that the computer system will not place you, that one you see it a little bit confusing because now you need to go and look for your own school and other stuff, so now it's not the best. And if you know someone in the school, you should know that you are sure that they will pick you. Yes, as if you have a family member who is a headmaster, senior housemaster, housemistress in another school, that one day, you are sure that you get admission there.
I'm not too comfortable with this kind of government placement system because the system to me is not fair. Because about last 2 years, I have a colleague who had an aggregate 6, but the school that was given was not even among the schools that he even selected.
Akola wan ko school dano areho. Enti se nipa no timi nya opportunity na o ko school no na wo wie mpo na onya de a. Me fi se nim de na ye chen se bio de won si class 1 dem da. Ti me fi se government no hunu se obia ko school a eye. Enti na bia wa pejam. Enkola no be yiro mo wasua de because se bi se wan nyere wo ho ansua. Na wunuanom bi anya position bi na wawie school na wantimi anko anima emwa nti maye nwinwi se bi aban no ama na kosoro na be hankola no ha omo.
I don't think it's fair for those who have not been placed. They all wrote the exams. Why some have school by the government and why some have to apply by themselves?
So those were some views on the street. Now let's take a look at some business story. And barely a week after it was announced that a memorandum of understanding had been signed between Ghana and German firm Volkswagen to set up a car assembly plant in Ghana, President Akufo-Addo has revealed that meetings have been held during his state visit to China to get another multinational company to set up their Africa operations headquarters in Ghana.
President Akufo-Addo, who is currently in China, met on Monday with Chinese business mogul Jack Ma on the possibility of his company setting up the African headquarters of the Alibaba Group in Ghana. President Akufo-Addo revealed that the Alibaba Group, of which Jack Ma is the co-founder and executive chairman, has plans to partner African countries and to help nurture technological survey talents in the sub-region, hence the decision to ask him to set up the company's Africa headquarters in Ghana. Alibaba Group is a multinational holding conglomerate specializing in e-commerce, retail, internet, artificial intelligence and technology. Founded in 1999, the company provides consumer-to-consumer, business-to-business, business-to-consumer sales services via web portals as well as electronic payment services. It owns and operates a diverse array of businesses around the world in numerous sectors and is recognized as one of the world's most admired companies.
Time now for your report on MTN Video Report, and our citizen journalist Samson Koku reports on erosion effects on the environment at Pumakrom in the Bunahafo region.
This started as a minor erosion but has now been graduated into a big gully. And in fact, it is posing a lot of threat to the citizens and the dwellers of this area. If one accidentally falls into this gutter when it rains, you are likely to be carried away by the swift current of the water. And when you are not familiar with the area too and you walk here in the night when there's lights out, you will fall into this deep gutter. This problem started a couple of months ago, but because it has not been given the necessary attention, it has not graduated into these deep gorges. This is an area in Techima municipality, a suburb called Pumakrom. This is Samson Koku Bengpong reporting from Techima.
Samson, thank you so much for that report. You can also send your video report via our WhatsApp platform 05514333044. You're watching Midday Live on TV3. Don't go away. You're welcome back. About 100 branches of the new consolidated bank face closure as the newly formed bank seeks to streamline its operations to minimize cost and remain profitable. There's more in this report.
A source indicated that a team has begun a 5-day tour of 9 regions to determine which branches will be shut down, and a report is expected by the end of the week. The bank, which took over some selected assets and liabilities of 5 collapsed banks, Unibank, Sovereign, Construction, Beige and Royal Banks, currently has 191 branches in 9 out of the 10 regions of the country. As part of the new bank's business rationalization program to reduce its current operational cost of about 60 million Ghana cedis per month, and reduce staff numbers to an acceptable minimum, it has also served notice of its intention to part ways with 1,700 staff. It currently has 3,700 workers. Already, staff have been asked to reapply for their jobs. In a memo, management said a link to the recruitment portal has been sent to staff via mail, and those interested are required to submit their details and CVs through that portal. The recruitment exercise commenced on Wednesday, August 29 and ended Monday, September 3.
Now, staying with the banking sector, non-performing loans in the banking sector hit 8.74 billion cedis in June this year. The Bank of Ghana has reported it has risen by 11 million cedis since June 2018. Now, according to head of capital markets at investment firm First Bank, this is not good development for the banking sector since it may affect confidence in the sector.
According to the Bank of Ghana report, the non-performing loans NPL ratio increased between June 2017 and June 2018, although its annual rate of growth declined in June 2018, with a significant portion of the bank's loan books remaining impaired. Credit risk within the banking sector remained high, with about a fifth of all loans within the industry being classified as non-performing. The non-performing loans ratio, however, declined marginally from April 2018. The The bulk of NPLs in the industry as at the end of June 2018 were attributed to the private sector, though its share in total NPLs declined to 89.9% from 94.9% in June 2017. Head of Capital Markets at investment and brokerage firm First Bank, Winslow Sakefio, says measures must be implemented swiftly to control the situation.
This year, it looks like things are not going too well. We are seeing NPLs picking up again, and it will get worse before it gets better. Especially when you look at the smaller banks, you have some of them getting close to about 46-47% NPLs, and that is not so good for the banking sector.
The report covers developments in the Ghanaian banking sector as at the end of June 2018. The industry comprised 34 licensed banks, 17 classified as domestically controlled, while the remaining 17 were foreign controlled.
So still on banking, the Chief Executive Officer of the Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana wants the central bank to strengthen its department responsible for supervising savings and loans companies. Now, Gideon Emisa recommends a separate and autonomous entity to regulate, monitor and supervise savings and loans and microfinance institutions.
Challenges facing savings and loans and microfinance companies include lack of collaboration and coordination to identify repeat loan defaulters and misapplication of loans. The Chief Executive Officer of the Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana, Gideon Emisa, notes that some savings and loans and microfinance companies collapsed because they were involved in other operations.
So we have an organization that is owing savings and loans, owning a real estate, owning transport. That is not to say that we don't have genuine businessmen who are, having group businesses, but operating in a genuine and legal way. Unfortunately, the trend has been that those financial institutions that has failed are one way or the other part of a group.
He suggested decoupling the regulating of savings and loans and microfinance from the Bank of Ghana.
We may have to decouple the supervision of the savings and loans and then the microfinance from the supervision of the universal banks. Or better still, we can strengthen a department in the Bank of Ghana to monitor savings and loans particularly.
The Executive Secretary of the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies, Chineboa Kodia Boache, said the association is in constant discussions with the central bank on how to improve regulations, implementation and monitoring.
We also in talk with our various members to make sure that the systems that regulation expect every financial institution to put in place are adequately put in place. We also continuously engage with Bank of Ghana as to how best these regulations could be strengthened.
He indicated that the public should have confidence in the savings and loans sector.
The public to continue to have the confidence in doing business with their respective financial institutions. We need not panic. Yes, some years past, some people lost their funds in certain financial institutions, but we don't think we have gotten there yet.
Both Gideon Emisa and Chineboa Kodia Boache have noted some pointers to look out for in determining a financial institution to do business with.
One asks whether it is, licensed by the Bank of Ghana, and also watch out for the rate at which they are giving you. It is largely high or above reasonable margin, then you should advise yourself.
Let us continuously monitor the operations of the various financial institutions that we do business with. Pay attention to even their financials when they publish their financials.
Sound advice there. Now, Head of Research at Absa Group Limited, Jeff Gabel, has cautioned Ghana against the declining loans to the private sector. Speaking at this year's Ghana Economic Forum in Accra, he argued the unavailability of loans to small businesses would stifle economic growth.
Ghana's stock of non-performing loans stood at 8.74 billion Ghana cedis as at the end of second quarter this year. As a result, Banks have reduced lending in order to take advantage of less risky income sources, such as short-term treasury bills and longer-term bonds issued by government, even though interest on government securities, short and long-term, has reduced over time. Banks still prefer to take refuge in other forms of investment instead of giving out more loans, which could go bad.
You really need to look at what is the actual impact on the economy and how it benefits the ordinary citizens in terms of and employment, etc. It's so important to ensure that you have a healthy banking system.
Jeff Gabo says the economy remains vulnerable to global shocks and encouraged government to diversify in order to promote economic growth.
Afternoon. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Now let's do some politics. News just in is that, and TV3 News understands that NDC's Council of Elders are in a crunch meeting to deliberate on whether or not to settle on one candidate to be voted for yes or no for the chairmanship position of the party. Now, the Council of Elders, we are told, are considering unanimously selecting one candidate to contest for the position of chairman and are meeting all candidates now. Let's go over to our reporter there, Bright Jaka, who is at the NDC headquarters. Bright, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Can you confirm the Council of Elders are in a crunch meeting to settle on one person as chairman of the party?
Yes, I can confirm that at this moment, the Council of Elders of the National Democratic Congress is in a crunch meeting. And what we are picking from that meeting is they are in this meeting to reach for a compromise candidate for the chairmanship of the National Democratic Congress. And at the end of the meeting, if this candidate is agreed on, and this candidate will present his or her form to the election committee to be accepted to be on the ballot paper on the 20th of October to for the delegates that day to decide if that person is going to lead the party 2020 election as a national chairman.
No, Bright, we also understand that they are meeting some of the candidates interested in that position. Have you spotted any of them there?
As of now, I've not been able to lay eyes on any of the chairman, the people who are aspiring for the chairman position of the party. But the information I'm getting is, yes, national elders of the party are in right now as we speak.
Well, thank you very much, Bright Jaka, who is at the NDC headquarters. We understand that the Council of Elders are in a crunch meeting to decide on one person for the chairmanship position of that party. And let's head over to our screens here where we give you an understanding of who is likely to contest in that position or who is interested in that position. So we do have here Samuel Ofosu Ampofu, who is a former Minister for Local Government. Hudu Yahaya, Alhaji Hudu Yahaya, is a stalwart of the party. Betty Maud Idrisu, also a former Attorney General of that party, and Dan Abudakbi, also a former ambassador. So all these persons are interested in the chairmanship position of the NDC, and we are being told that the Council of Elders are in a crunch meeting to decide on one of them for a yes or no vote. So an aspiring presidential candidate of the NDC, Kweku Ricketts-Hagan, says his vision will be to put Ghana back on the track. Ricketts-Hagan asserted that he does not share in the opinion of Sir Tekwe on taking responsibility of the banking crisis since the NDC did nothing to warrant their collapse. He spoke on New Day.
My vision is to make sure that we get a Ghana that is better than we have today. Okay. We stop experimenting with our education system and create a system that is sustainable, that is going to give our children a better chance in the global world that we live in. Not experimenting with whether it should be 3 years or 4 years or whether it should be track system or it should be shift system and all that.
Your former boss, Mr. Setekba, I spoke with him last week. Yeah. He says on the collapse of the banks, he takes responsibility, the party takes responsibility, but can't be blamed. Do you share in his opinion? I don't. Why? I don't. Because I don't actually think that the NDC government did anything. Don't forget that the central bank is independent. Were you responsible? No. Are you blameable? The central bank is independent. Okay. It doesn't matter which appointed the governor of the bank or the personalities who work there.
So still on the party, NDC former MP for Midday, George Lowe, says the formation of vigilante groups by the party is to strengthen the NDC's internal security to protect the ballots as the police have been politically influenced. But government spokesperson on infrastructure, Richard Yeboah-Asante, says the current administration will bring all perpetrators of crime to book, irrespective of their political affiliations.
In Akan language, we say if the what? Kuku na jaya, kike no bejai. Is that also? Right. In recent times, we've seen all sorts of invisible forces and visible forces and all sorts of forces, Kandahar boys being unleashed on us. We're having a party program, and we are anytime we have a party program, anytime we are doing anything in this now, henceforth. Some of us are going to continue to advocate that we have our own security system because we don't know when these invisible forces and things would want to come and cause confusion and mayhem. So it is within our rights as a party to do so, and we'll do so all the way into the elections. What we cannot assure of, or what we don't want to do, is to leave our faith in the hands of the police so that the MPP people have a field day and come and attack us and misbehave.
So I understand that over the period, the reasons why it became necessary for certain political parties to sort of put together a group of young men and women to help internal securities of the party has been as a result of the inactions of the police administration. However, I'm not seeing same actions in these recent times. Recent times, the police administration has shown that they are ready to deal with and combat anybody who flouts the laws.
Now let's go over to Parliament House, where the House is sitting in camera over the collapse of the 7 banks. Now, Parliament's Finance Committee has begun probing why some banks have collapsed over the last 1 year. The meeting, which is being held in camera, has been met with stiff opposition. Several pressure groups, including Occupy Ghana, are asking Parliament to make it an open hearing, but that has not yet yielded any results. So meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Bolgatanga stormed out of the meeting earlier today when the Finance Committee met. Take a listen.
Listen, this is a rubber stamp process. It will deliver no value. I am not willing to be part of it. These are the documents they gave to us. Statement of banking sector, press release by Bank of Ghana, press release, government speech. When it comes to KPMG, they only give you conditions and opinions of Unibank. There were 5 asset quality reviews at Unibank. There were 4 of them in 1 month. We don't even have that report. They claim that there was a preliminary work that was done by KPMG to take a decision to go into it. We don't have that report. We don't even know the terms of reference of the job that KPMG did. We don't even know what contract we signed with Boulders. We don't even know the full report of Boulders except executive summary of Boulders' work. Why will I sit in that meeting? I won't sit in that meeting.
Let's now go on to the phone lines and speak to Nana Sapon, a member of the pressure group Occupy Ghana. Good afternoon to you, Nana.
Yeah, good afternoon.
So we understand Parliament did not heed to your call to have a public hearing, and now we also understand that Isaac Adongo, a member of the Finance Committee, has stormed out of the meeting. What do you make of this development?
Yeah, we are quite disappointed in Parliament. I mean, we saw this as a fine opportunity to let Ghanaians actually hear for themselves everything that was going on. But to decide to sit in camera and just listen to it for themselves and later come to report to us, we find that very, very, very sad, and it's quite, I don't even know the word to use, but it's quite disappointing that Parliament would want to sit in camera. I mean, if they were to go meet their constituents to ask them before taking a decision to sit in camera, I doubt they would be in favor of them going in camera. This is a fine chance of Ghanaians to also hear for themselves the things that happened and also begin to develop much confidence into the banking system. But if you're going to sit in camera, you're just going to fool up perceptions that there are some big people in the country, big politicians, who Parliament wants to, sort of shield from the public eye. That's why they want to, sit in camera.
Now, Isaac Adongo is saying that this is a rubber-stamped process and it will deliver no value at all. So what should we make of the process at the end of the day?
Parliament is not a court. They cannot, pass that. But at least they are like the representatives of the people. If anything that anything of public interest, Parliament are the ones to, listen to that, carry that forward on our behalf and, legislate laws. So should something like this come, it's only nice, it's only good for Parliament to also make an inquiry, just as in issues like this happening in the U.S. where the Senate has Senate hearings with private companies who are involved in some of these things involving the public. So with the case of it being rubber stamp, I do not agree. However, with the fact that they are going to sit in camera, that is the part that we do not agree to, and we are disappointed that Parliament take that route.
Thank you very much. Nana Sapon Ajuman is with Occupy Ghana. Let's turn our attention to something else. And hundreds of travelers have been left stranded in Salaga in the East Gonja district following a downpour on Tuesday, September 4, 2018. The travelers are currently stuck in the Bunjai community after a stretch of the road got blocked due to the spillover from the Dakar River, which flows from the west side close to the Deba community. According to an eyewitness, passengers had to risk their lives walking over 400 meters in the running water to cross over. Many of the passengers continue to stay on the flooded road, waiting for the water levels to go down. Sports is next. Welcome back. Singer and songwriter Irene Logan, formerly of girl group Irene and Jane, has been off the music scenes for a while. Guess what has been taking her attention? The Midday composer says she's now into pepper farming, aside building a career in humanitarian work. So we'll be bringing you that story shortly, but do stay in touch with us on all our social media platforms.
I can't wait till the morning comes to I see your face, my favorite one. I love you, you know it's true. Oh, can we run away?
You introduce yourself as an entrepreneur and a humanitarian. What have you been up to, talking about your humanitarian endeavors?
Yes, you haven't been seeing me. I haven't really been on the entertainment scene. Other things have taken my attention. And what have I been doing? A few years ago, we went on a mission. I went with an organization called Doctors in the Gap. Dwarf Islands is somewhere in Afram Plains, beyond Afram Plains. It takes you hours to cross a river in a canoe. And we're there for 2 weeks to bring medical health care to people, and it was such a humbling experience. There's so much work to be done on our continent, in our country, helping other people shine light on very important issues in Ghana. So that's what I've been doing. I've been working on humanitarian projects. I've been giving my time to service.
Any other project that you currently working on?
I have an organization called I Am the Future, an NGO. It was formed to build capacity to assist young people to discuss developmental issues and find solutions for them, you know, and I'm taking that to Liberia for the first time. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now with the UN. And the whole idea is to take healthcare to Liberia, is to take professionals to give skill training and stuff. All I can say is I've been very humbled by this journey, you know, meeting people, being inspired by them, and being able to serve.
Right, and we also find a lot of entertainers venturing into business. For instance, you talk about Trigmatic and he has a rice farm. Okay, Hama is doing well with the A1 bread thing. Samini is into onion farming. Is there anything that has caught your eye, or you're already doing something?
See, I'm smiling broadly because it's about time. I'm into farming also in Liberia.
Okay,
yes.
So you're growing plantain, saba for fufu, or amankeni, what is that?
Pepper.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Why pepper, not any other?
Because Anwash. I'm kidding. But everyone needs pepper.
Okay.
It's an important spice.
All right, then for how long have you been doing it and how is it going?
Wow, he's very nosy. I just started. Everything right now is in baby stages. I just started. Yeah, so it's doing quite well.
I can't wait to no, I can wait. I wanna see your face.
Two Russian nationals have been named as suspects in the attempted murder of former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia. There's sufficient evidence to charge Alexander Petrov and Russian Boshirov over the attack in Salisbury, Scotland Yard.
They are thought to have been using the names as aliases and are about 40. Mr. Skripal, 66, and his daughter Yulia, 33, were poisoned with nerve agent Novichok in March. Sue Hemming, CPS Director of Legal Services, said there was enough evidence to provide a realistic prospect of conviction and that it is clearly in the public interest to charge Alexander Petrov and Ruslan Boshirov. The offences include conspiracy to murder Sergei Skripal, the attempted murder of Sergei Skripal, Yulia Skripal, and Nick Bailey, the use and possession of Novichok, contrary to the Chemical Weapons Act, and causing grievous bodily harm with intent to Yulia Skripal and Nick Bailey. Ms. Hemming said the CPS would not be applying to have the men extradited, as Russia does not currently allow the extradition of its nationals. Metropolitan Police say they arrived at Gatwick Airport from Moscow on March 2 and stayed at the City Stay Hotel in Bourne Road, East London, before travelling to Salisbury on March 4, where Mr. Skripal's front door was contaminated with Novichok. Detective Sergeant Nick Bailey fell ill responding to the incident in Salisbury.
And that's all for Midday Live today. Let's take a look at the top stories once again. Storms out of Parliament's meeting to probe collapse of some banks in the country. Nurses across the country hit the streets over government's inability to employ them. And two Russian nationals named as suspects in attempted murder of former Russian spy. And that's all for this bulletin. For more news, do go to our news website, 3news.com. Also stay interactive with us on our social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at TV3 Ghana. My name is Efua Tieku. Lovely afternoon.